All right, I want to get this out real quick. This is going to be a quick unboxing of the Equworthy 5,000 watt inverter. This is the one. There we go, 5,000. I'll show you some of the stuff. I'll have to blur some of that out. I just realized that's probably shipping information. Anyways, we're pairing it with these 15 kilowatts of power from their own batteries. So communication, everything should be simple. I did it on purpose because I wanted it to be simple. But I've got these batteries about a week ago, and I had to wait for the inverter to come in. And I held off on buying lines, cables, because they ain't cheap, for the go from the batteries to the inverter. I didn't know if they had any. I didn't see anywhere because it was a combined deal where I bought, I think it was 1 or 2 batteries with the inverter and then 1 battery separate. So it didn't really break down about the inverter and show everything that you were actually getting. And I didn't know, it was really hard to tell if it was going to be the same exact one as they sold individually. Anyways, it came with that. Also, we had our manual right up here. These manuals, honestly, I thought they were going to be crap. The wording is actually really good. I'm wondering if they're using some kind of AI for some of this wording. It's easier to read. It's not Chinglish, so that was awesome. I'm assuming this is more of a Chinese company. But, like I said, I'm pretty impressed so far. These things, you can hook a whole lot of them up. You can run, I think, 6 of these together. You can hook up 32 of those batteries together, which is a whole, I can't remember. It's 100 something kilowatts, 160 kilowatts, something crazy. Anyway, you can build this out to a giant system. That being said, you can see in here, they actually show you the schematics for however many you're needing to run, which I thought was kind of cool. And it's not, it doesn't seem overburdensome. And they actually made it into a nice little booklet. As opposed to some of the cheap, I don't know. I just thought this was a lot easier, a lot better to read, and was pretty happy with that. Their one for these batteries is also just the same. Anyways, got our data cable. Let me put these over here. Let's see what we got in the box. Okay, see, that's not that bad. Just wondering how big exactly. You see the dimensions, but it's always different when you see it in person. Got another little box here. See what's in here. That's one thing I do like, because so far it seems like they try to give you almost everything you're going to need. Oh, I think that's the Wi-Fi dongle. See, that was another thing. Is that the Wi-Fi dongle? Yeah. So this is what makes it Wi-Fi compatible. This little dongle here. You can buy these separate. Now, they have a unit. When I was looking at one of these, or their unit by itself, it actually costs more than buying in the package, obviously, but it showed the Wi-Fi dongle thing on that. This one didn't say anything about it. I was just taking a chance and hoping, because it said something about, wireless communication, but just because it can do it doesn't mean it does. A lot of times they'll put that on there and they won't tell you that, oh yeah, you got to buy this if you want that. But looks like they threw it in. Makes me very happy there. Something I don't have to buy, because these are another 50 to 60, 80 bucks, something, I don't know. So our communication cable. Oh, that's cool. So it looks like it plugs in. We run this wire, because on there they just had it dangling. Plug this into here. But then this has a little wall mount, so you can stick it in there. But if you need to mess with this, and I guess maybe, I don't know what you would need to mess with it with. But if you had to, you can actually just, I guess, pull it out of that little holster here. Do what you got to do, set it back in there. That'd be handy too, because if your signal was real bad or something, you wanted to try to move this around to get a better signal. I wonder if that's waterproof. Probably is. Yeah, look at the seals. So I bet if you had to, if you got this in a garage setup like I do, and you don't have any communication for it, or you don't have any way to get a good signal out there, I bet we could just put a hole in the wall, put that wire through there, and mount this basically on the outside of your wall, on the outside of the building or whatever, so you can get that your Wi-Fi signal to it if needed. In here I have the router up there, so I got that coming in from the house or whatever. The router goes up there and spits it out to the garage. So, all right, stick logger. Okay, cool. It's got its own little thing in there. That looks like it's basically it. Everything that came in here. So, first look, this thing looks good. No damaging. The packaging is awesome. It came with the Wi-Fi dongle. It came with the battery cables. It came with the data cable. And I think this is a regular Cat 5 cable. So a lot of people would have left that out. I mean, eco-worthy, you're doing good so far. No complaints. As long as your shit works like it's supposed to, I'm going to be super happy. Yeah, I might edit that out. Anyways, so you keep doing, you know, everything looks good. Keep it up. Awesome. I'm going to get this thing mounted on the wall. I'm going to have to run me, I think I'm going to run another cord out of there and do, whatchamacallit, just put an outlet there with a 20 amp breaker on it. And then that's what's going to go. So then I'll have basically like an extension cord end coming out of there, and I can plug it in there. The reason why I want to do that setup, and I'm not going to like hardwire it into here, is so that way I can take that plug, unplug it out of there if we lose power, and I can just run a cord in from a generator, you know, on the garage door or whatever, and charge this up with the generator. And that's only until we get the solar on this, because this thing can handle like 5,000 watts of solar. So, but the solar system is going to be coming this spring to this summer before we see that. The actual like solar panel part. But anywho, so this will be considered a grid tied. That's why I was rambling earlier about you can get your extra tax credit off, because this is it's an off-grid inverter, but since I'm going to be charging this using grid power, it is grid connected. It's not grid tied necessarily, but it is grid connected because I'm going to be charging off the grid, not an independent solar source. So it should qualify without a problem. All right. If you tell me if I'm wrong, tell me what you think. If you got one of these, it was trash. Unless it's been in the last year, I don't need to hear your complaints. If it's been in the last year, let me know, because, you know, they are constantly seem to be upgrading. I know the batteries, I think these are version 3s or something at this point. So, all right. Y'all have a good one. All right. Sorry, I had to come back real quick. It's apparently I pulled that thing out. We still have our another data cable. I believe that's what it is. It goes right there. Dry contact, whatever that thing is. So let's see how that hooks up. It also had some serial cables in there. So yeah. Oh, and I'm guessing this is if you need to make your own connection for your solar. It looks like they're giving you lugs here, so that way you got lugs that actually fit. That's awesome. And it's got screws. So, yeah. Oh, one more thing about this. I know this was a different video. I got extra. Well, not those. The little black ones that put on the handles. They sent me a couple extra. It was pretty sweet. And then these, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I did send you enough to put one on every port. The only ones I'm going to be using at this point, though, is 1 and 2. I do believe. So I'll just be using 2 of the... But I thought that was pretty cool. But I guess if you're using 1 battery, you would need 4 total, because you got... Nope, I don't know. Tell me why they sent so many. Yeah, I think they did it just because you do something like that as a company. Send something little out like that. It means a lot. Like, to me, I did lose one of these black screws. And since I had extras, I didn't have to search for it for an hour. I just kept putting them on and then realized I had extras, and it was amazing. So, great job, eco-worthy. Really liking them. All right. Anyways, that's it. It's up here. I'm going to get that, like I said, see how I got to go, what I got to do to mount it to the wall, and go from